presentation. We're not live yet. Sorry.
Good afternoon and welcome to the, I'd like to welcome the Kacific group, broadband satellite group. As you all know, we're always open to listening and hearing for more opportunities here in the CNMI. And we thank you for your interest in at least looking at this direction to assist us. So before we move forward, I'd just like to go ahead and introduce the members that are present here today. To my far right, we have Representative Probst. He's our floor leader, and thank you again, Representative Probst, for coordinating this. And to my right here is Representative Angelo Camacho. I am Speaker Edmund Villagomez, and to my left is Representative Manny Castro. To his left is Representative Diego Vincent Camacho, and to his left is Representative Vincent Aldan. He is the chairman of Public Utilities, Transportations, and Communications. And across, we have Representative Malcolm Omar. And to his left, we have the Senate President, Senator Edith De Leon Guerrero. And to her left, we have Representative Ralph Yumo. And so once again, welcome, and the floor is yours, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Honorable Congressman and Senator. Thank you for giving Mariana and Kacific to provide you a PowerPoint presentation of the satellite technology that currently providing service for CNMI and Guam and American Samoa and the rest of the Western Pacific. So I would like to introduce myself. I'm Mr. Roy Ortizo, the CEO and President of Mariana's Wireless, the distributor partner of Kacific for their internet services in CNMI. And we have this agreement since 2020, and they ship the equipment here after they launched the satellite, I think late 2019, together with JSAT. So they're like sharing with the cost of the launching. So anyway, let's begin the PowerPoint presentation. So yeah, Pacific Satellite is founded by Christian Paturax, and I think they've been there since 2013, and they've been servicing most of the Pacific Island nation. And 2019, they launched this new generation of satellite, broadband satellite, with the financing from ABD and their partners. So after the launch, I think they sent their representative here in Saipan, and nobody really paid attention to him. So that's why they found my profile in LinkedIn, and they putting me on board. us, to open the service in this country. So currently, the satellite uh, is a it's a geostationary about 35,000 kilometers away from us, and it's located 150 east at the same time with I think JSAT. So it has this new technology is like a cellular in the orbit that provide 56 spot beam, and this is high throughput technology, meaning that the satellite provide a data that is very powerful with the help of the new technology that they adapted and the Earth station that they developed. So the satellite has teleport in Subic, Australia, and I think Indonesia. So from there, it goes back to the Singapore Network Operation Center and then to the ISP, which is there's a few ports to navigate, unlike the current provider, right in Docomo, that their server um, here, Guam and Saipan, and I think the US. So there's a lot of hubs that um, navigate. So when you compute the latency, because this the distance of this satellite is about the latest is about 560 to 600 milliseconds. So when you compute that and compare it to Itini, it's just almost the same. So let me see. So and um, the frequency that this satellite is using is on the Ka band. This is 26 gigahertz to 40 gigahertz. So um, I mean and then they use this new technology that reuse the frequency, unlike the traditional fixed satellite system. It's only use one frequency, so that's why the efficiency is high. So currently they have um, coverage on 25 island nations, including Sinimai, Guam, and FSM, Vanuatu, American Samoa, Philippines, Indonesia, Timor Leste, and part of Nepal, I think. And so this is the location of the satellite. So meaning the farther it does is the larger the coverage. So this is unlike the constellation of satellites which is in the low orbit. They need to put more satellite to cover a lot, and the I think the handoff of data calls within those terminals is gonna be a little bit complicated because the satellite Earth station that receives on Earth has a tracking, and sometimes issue with the blocking of satellite that goes around the the orbit. So unlike this one, I think so. It has a 56 high throughput spot beam, meaning one cell site is focused to Sinamai, and the rest are on the other island nation. So you have 60 gigabit of broadband capacity, and those are the technical specification. So the ground infrastructure, which is composed of 1.2 meter antenna and 75 cm antenna. In fact, I have that in my car, but if you guys wanna see that, so this is their teleport, which is located in Subic, which is mostly the support. 24-hour support is stationed and monitoring the stats. So this is the Earth Station's terminal. It depends on what you need. If you need more bandwidth, this is 200 Mbps, so you need a little bit bigger dish. So I set it up at the Northern Ireland Mayor's office and financed through their Hope Recovery at Murphy. So those are serving those offices there. The mayor's office, we turn it off because it's only for testing. This is actually intended for Agrihan. So, and the commercial type for government, like in Kingdom of Tonga, they use 2.5 meters, I think, for 1 gigabit bandwidth. And they signed the services with Kacific for 15 years at 5.7 million, I think, for the internet connectivity. So this is the 1.2 terminal that was installed at the mayor's Northern Ireland municipality. And this is the one that I installed in my house. It's a small one. So this is the typical setup. You have the, I just put it in my my workplace, and you have the modem, which is very small power, it's like 3 watts. So all in all, it's about 6 watts, including the transceiver. And then you have this typical router and your laptop or smart gadget. Good to go. So this is the radiated power from the satellite. So you can see that's like in the center of the signal downlink, and this is their uplink. So like dBm and in terms of measurement. So I mean, our area here is 100% fully coverage, anywhere, anytime.
Wow.
Yes,
Anywhere,
anywhere. That's why I sent MBA about 40 cells mobile sites so that they can monitor all those tourist and remote beaches, so we can prevent any thieves or incident. So I'll show you the solution that I have in here. Ron. This is the signal that is being received by the Earth terminal. This is the isotropic radiated power. So this is like a radio station. So you receive the signal from let's say KZMI or whatever, and with a small signal, you can the transceiver can adapt can receive it and amplify it. So this is only for CNMI, and um, I think Guam also is covered into this, but they're not on. Maybe they can assign a spot beam for Guam because the population of Guam is 3 times higher than us. But the FCC license that Pacific had is only for CNMI and American Samoa. I'm not sure if they already submitted the application in Guam because this is non-US satellite. So if you are penetrating US market for non-US license, you need to apply FCC if you receive and transmit. So that's mandatory, and that costs a lot.
Roy,
Yes, sure, yeah, no problem. They have license. In terms of cybersecurity and all those things, they are compliant. So,
Colleagues, can we just please have Mr. Tizu just finish his presentation and then we'll ask questions?
it's okay, I can adapt.
You sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can
Nice.
adapt. That's the reason why I'm here, because, although I'm not trained for the satellite, but I've been handling cellular systems since the start of Kacific,
Okay.
Pacificom, and then
Okay.
Docomo.
Go ahead. Recognize it.
So anyway,
Right
so-
here, sir.
Yeah, I was going to add, according to, FCC license was approved in law. I believe it was approved back in April 15th.
okay, so that I never checked the FCC lately, so my apology for that, Good. So
Thank you, Mr. Roy.
Yeah.
So when was the beta testing done?
for this,
Yes.
I think that was before they launched. They already did it. They launched the satellite late December 2019, and
Okay.
then with their, I think the three prime partners in the Philippines, which getting the services during the nationwide election. So
Well,
this,
the reason why I'm asking about the beta testing, because that was going to give us all the information that we need regarding the weather interference, right? The ionic atmosphere interference,
Yeah.
the deflections,
I understand.
and then the latency time,
Yeah.
and the reason why I'm asking that, because would it be beneficial for anybody here, be commercial, government, or residential, to be really dependent upon this new technology, vice the hardwire fiber optic cables. What a lot of people don't understand is how, the satellite signals,
Yeah.
and the latency, was it worth the amount of money that, if I were to, be your customer,
Okay.
would, whenever I download something or I upload something, would it be competitive enough, that your company will be able to grab me as a customer, to get away from ITNE or Docomo? Because I really do agree and I understand. I would love for your company to be here and set up shop, right? Because then it'll give everybody, a chance to do business with you. We don't want two businesses only, and they jack up the price.
Yeah.
Where your company comes in, and then all the other companies come in, and then you guys can compete, and then the prices becomes
Well,
manageable.
Yeah, meaning that we're gonna be a third party. So when it comes to those safety and security and the performance, they're all docketed in their FCC license. So the radiation study, what it affects to your health, they're all there, including the, I think one of the um letter letter also from the Congress President before, Speaker Ataw, which I solicited his recommendation way back 2020. 2020. So all those information you need to know regarding their testing, they're all in the FCC docket, which is available online.
Okay, so what is the document number for your FCC license? Because I would like to see the beta testing and all of that. That SES
Yeah.
LFS? Is that
Just
what it
type FCC Kacific license for cinema.
is? What number is that?
That's SES 20 LF. That's LFS. That's 2021-05-21. The top one.
Okay, can you think that we can get this?
Yeah.
This
I'll
PowerPoint.
give you the copy of presentation,
All right, thank you.
and they have docketed there, including supporting documents, because FCC will not gonna clear your application if those requirements are not there. So
We'll provide that.
yeah. So this is some of their plan in CMI. This is designed for residential and uh, commercial. So they call it Giga Starter. So they start from I think similar to the lowest two-tier rate plan of ITNE and Docomo. They're a little bit higher because the nature of the business is a little bit expensive for satellite. This launch cost them $400 million. So that's why they. But it's 25 nation. They're serving 600 million customers. Uh, so this is a really good system because in anywhere in Sinamay, including Pagan, Alamagan, or whatever Northern Islands, they can deploy this. I was surprised also why Docomo 19 did not grab this opportunity to use us, to provide services there if they're really active on their service. So for Gigastarter, they have this the bandwidth plan. So they have for 40 Mbps, 30 down, and 10 ups. I'm I have the a trial terminal in my house, which is a use, and I compare it to ITNA. Um, it's way better.
Repro, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ortizo, and to your team for today's presentation. We're very happy to hear of always, of course, as our speaker has said, welcoming in new businesses, and especially when it comes to broadband and connectivity. Our challenges, as you know, being a business owner and a developer, of our limited bandwidth here. It's been as customers or consumers, we have two players in this market. It's ITNE or Docomo, and I think is that it? I think so for broadband services so far. Um, the challenges have been, while we've seen the great leaps and bounds that have occurred in the United States. You have places like Las Vegas, for example. Our friends across the states are getting up to a gigabit, right, of speed, and here we are at 40 to 50 megs. It's been a challenge, but yet we still pay equivalent rates. So they're getting 10 times our speed, or sometimes 20, and paying the same amount that we are paying. And we're always told, oh, it's because you guys live in the Pacific, you're islanders, whatever. Um, and there has been some frustration just as consumers, and it's not to pick on one or the other, but both IT and Docomo, for such a small footprint of Saipan. I mean, Saipan is what, 50 square miles, 50, and yet if you drive around the island, try it. Take the back road all the way to the front, going through Capitol Hill. You cannot have a constant conversation or a constant video or anything, uh, you know, and it's because there will always be calls dropped. By the way, we can't drive with the phone. I'm saying if you're not driving, right? Or if you're a passenger in the vehicle, or if it's hands free, right? I just want to clarify that because that was Speaker Billy Gomez's bill.
Actually, yeah.
And so basically, the frustration is that even in such a small footprint, we have drop calls everywhere. Going to Marpy, going to anywhere, especially our back road, it's major drop calls. So there's some frustration. So just for clarity, you had mentioned earlier that the latency is comparable to ITNE at 560 to 600 milliseconds. So basically, latency deals with like lag, right? And then you mentioned that you have complete service in all of Saipan. This satellite would provide. So even if you're in Marpi, you'll still have a signal. Even if you're on the back road, you can still drive it.
Even in the cave, as long as the antenna is outside.
Really? Okay. I just wanted that clarified. And yes, that is a comparable to what we normally get at home, about 40 to 50 megabits at the beginning level.
Well,
So,
actually, I was negotiating with Kacific to, make it more competitive
yeah.
because not only that, you're gonna pay for the equipment.
Yeah. And I just wanted to, before I close, just wanted to mention one of the exciting things about this satellite possibility is because we've all experienced what happens when what's that, the cable was cut. Remember when was that? What year was that? When we had the, yeah. And, and with the satellite, you don't have to worry about that. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And in fact, they have the system designed for first responder, so they can deploy this anytime, anywhere with
Yeah.
Wi-Fi ready.
I j-
And I offered that to Red Cross
Yeah.
and EMO before, but
I get excited about this because that's an option in case that happens, and especially with our challenges with the tensions between China and the U.S. I mean that's probably the first thing that they would cut, but they wouldn't be able to do that with satellite,
Yeah.
correct?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
So-
you, Speaker.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So anyway, good.
Sorry again.
No, no.
So what is the cost of the satellite dish itself?
Well, that's gonna be down in the presentation later on.
Okay.
I have this uh, rate plan that was designed for cinema. Don't worry, I'm negotiating with. I know they're listening right now, but you know, although this is designed to the system designed to provide services to underserved and unserved areas of Saipan, normally it's not for competition with the existing provider because we're helping each other also. If they want to get our services as their backhaul so that they can provide coverage, it's easy for them. But I don't know what kind of management they do. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, FCC license that they got, they're mandated to provide percentage of coverage in the span of license they have. For the first year, I think they need to have coverage of 10%, something like that, and then the rest are that. And with the grant that they've been getting, they should be able to provide all these complaints that Congressman Props is saying. I mean, that's why when I was with Docomo, the first thing I asked those engineers that they assign is, where is your network plan? And until they fire me. But anyway, yeah, because I think they don't like more, you know, uh, hindrance to their operation, But I know they've been not in compliance with the agreement from NSA because they still have this Japanese or foreigner doing the operation uh, decision, which is not the best. But anyway, so basically, this is similar to any kind of services you want. You can have a backup link here. Not so much bandwidth, but just enough to make calls. 50/10 is enough to make a voice over IP call. So that's really a good what you call this cost in terms of contingency plan during emergency. So
Okay, Mr.
anyway,
Ortizu,
go ahead.
Red Manny, Castro has a question.
Yes, my congressman.
Hi. So I wish you were here earlier because the Northern Marianas College was here not too long ago, and they, I'm looking at the system, and it's also good potential not only for primary but also redundancy, because a lot of the businesses when you go out, their systems are not working, whether it's Docomo or IT&E, and then it's a loss of.
I think congressman, the first thing with this technology, I brought it is with the IT there in the college. Because the guy works for my company before.
Jerome.
Yeah, so he knows very
So,
well,
Yeah,
and he is aware of that. So with their new campus, I think,
yeah.
yeah, they should adopt it. Otherwise, it's their lost, because and like I said, you don't you cannot predict when the cable is cut or whether some kind of issue in the network center of these two providers.
And it's Mr. Tizo, it's all direct, right? From the satellite
Yeah,
straight to
so
the
you can see,
unit.
for example, from the terminal on the ground, it goes directly to the satellite, and then on the teleport, which is located in Subic, and then this teleport has a fiber connection direct in Singapore,
Okay.
which is then goes to their satellite hub and their um, network center, and then to the ISP. So it is really small port, and to navigate. The only thing that has a delayed is the distance from the ground to the satellite. But when the data is communicating, when you browse the YouTube or streaming, uh, it's more faster than IT&E and Docomo, because IT&E I cut my service and then transfer to Docomo. Then somebody pop up my, but I think part of the delay of this internet is because the there's a law that was um, not under the control of FCC, the net neutrality, meaning I complain a lot to ITNA because of my DSL, but FCC wants me to talk to ITNE. I don't realize that net neutrality was not on the table yet because of President Trump. Uh, Provider can throttle, can block before net neutrality. Now they cannot. So normally they throttle the services during prepaid pay-per-view, meaning you're gonna upgrade your service. So that's one of the, that's why. So when it comes to security, the Kacific are in compliance because they're also the PITA member, and most of their equipment are U.S. Partners provider. There's one partner here that wants to provide terminals from China. Pacific did not buy it. So they have other services. The Flex VNO is the flexibility virtual network. I mean, you can control the bandwidth that you have. For example, for cinema uh, community Wi-Fi to cover anywhere here, uh, all I can do is get a 1 gigabit bandwidth, and then I network this to all this Wi-Fi station, so that any community that needs Wi-Fi services will be served. So here, um, Kingdom of Tonga has a, I think after the earthquake, they lost their cable. So they signed the contract with the Kacific to provide them that, and the Kacific provided us the installation after the there's like some issues there in the contract, but finally they agreed.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Thank you. I'm reading a report that was done for the Commonwealth back in 2013 regarding broadband services. And I see the definitions on the report regarding satellite, which is primarily focused on remote areas, right? That's exactly what
Yeah.
you're referring to. Now, on the subject of broadband, this particular report specifically said that currently the cable's owned and operated by IT&E, and that links Sinamay to Guam are ample for the territory's bandwidth needs. However, the issue remains that when all middle mile connection points are owned and operated by a single entity, it creates a business choke point. The owner of the middle mile connection has a monopoly over the market. So it seems like the issue here in the Commonwealth is this particular um, middle mile issue that needs to be resolved. And I'm wondering, I know that you had mentioned earlier about why did not IT&E seek out your services, right? Whereas we're talking about satellite services for internet connectivity. This report fast forward to 2013, and it still stands today as we
Yeah,
speak.
yeah. The main
right.
reason for that is because there's no regulators here. Unlike FSM, regulators, uh, public utility and communication regulators,
Yeah, that's another
supposed,
issue that we have.
yeah,
We are trying to get that particular commission
without
to
that,
effectuate
you
itself
cannot
to
force
regulate
them.
rates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because IT&E get the ARA grant. This is for broadband, so they need to provide a cheap uh, internet service for the government and schools and hospitals. That's the agreement. Where is it? And then they have this other grant for broadband. I mean, they their equipment, they can play around with the money that they get, and then they only provide their networks switches. Supposed to be they deploy very fast high end Cisco product or other communication product that has a gigabit port. Right now, one cell site they provide only 1 gigabit. So
And let
one
me just
gigabit,
say this, if you
right?
hold yourself right now. Um, I am fully aware of the millions of dollars that the federal government have provided the Commonwealth with respect to broadband services to improve its infrastructure technology. Back in 2015, and you're right, there's so much money that has been infused into the Commonwealth, and the ISPs are the ones that are benefiting from those particular monies. And I'm, for one, I'll speak for myself. This is why I bring up the issue in the Commonwealth that we need to go back in time and take a look at of all of these investments in our infrastructure for technology, of where we were, where are we today with respect to all these federal monies to improve our economy, our connection to the world. Fast forward today, there's millions of dollars again after U2 that was given to the Commonwealth to improve its technology and infrastructure for broadband services. And so I do appreciate you sharing information today, and it kind of like puts us, gives us more teeth into ensuring that there perhaps maybe an oversight in specific committees in the Senate and the House to take a look at the infrastructure investments of the federal government, so that we could really once and for all, if we're going to be talking about our economic development of the Commonwealth, we need to know exactly where is the federal dollars being invested, and is it working correctly?
Not only that, the oversight can also help you guys determine if the tariff FCC is imposing, if they followed it. Otherwise, they can control their own price without following the FCC tariff rate for long distance and data. So and with right now, this Internet for All program and the the broadband funding, I'm scared that it will go to these two guys again, and um, so anyway, this program for Kacific. Anything is designed to program to meet your demand. So, for example, for the government and schools, they have all these services. Most importantly, they have also a CCTV and remote data collection for um, any kind of thing that you need to monitor. For example, the seismic in Alamagan, the temperature of the sea, and then on the farm side, this is really popular in the Philippines right now because their infrastructure there are similar to us in a bigger scale. So the remote schools that doesn't have internet before, and teachers are crossing rivers, and now they have um, broadband connectivity because of Kacific. So this is the comms box from the Pacific that designed to support during the emergency and disaster. So um, they have this ready deployable system that has a solar panel, and I think they have also the rates for so many years you're gonna use it. So you can deploy it anywhere here in cinema anytime. So they have also service for the boat, meaning that if you have a fishing vessel, you can install internet there. So so right now, because they have only one satellite, I think they're planning to launch a second one to back up the Pacific one that they installed. So this is the combox that is being adapted by Philippines disaster um, coordinating council, I think. So they adapt this during the emergency. So with the broadband uh, funding for the CNMI, so I was talking to this provider in Bay Area in California, and those areas there doesn't have any signal. So most of the provider in the states are helping them by developing their internet service through community Wi-Fi. So with this program, uh, uh, Mariana Suarez and Kacific can really assist you guys if you uh, required to uh, fulfill this project. So anyway, this is a very fast to deploy solution for your broadband village watch. So I present this to the mayor of Saipan, and he likes the idea, but I think I need to attach the funding from the uh, broadband department. Right now is handled by Glenn Hunter. So this Wi-Fi station is a standalone with this equipped with the solar panel, battery backup, and gel cell fuel cell generator. So the cost probably of this is about $11,000 plus Wi-Fi equipment and whatever you put there, camera, speaker, or whatever. So that's all you need, because you don't need to shoot a microwave to connect. So this bulk bandwidth, you can slice this and provide services to any vital areas that need services. For example, this internet for all program, when you go to San Antonio, some of the houses, those poor houses there, they like to apply for the internet, but the provider doesn't even announce that, hey, you have a cheaper internet here, and they don't have any knowledge that this program exists. So I said you can apply for these two providers, and that way you can have the free internet in your house instead of getting from the stores and
Thank you, Mr. Ortiz. So when we look at this, right, and what would you need from us basically? Because I mean, as of right now, you have the license. You can actually, if you wanted, right, theoretically, to go out and sell this to residents, this package.
Well,
to-
the plan for Kacific is I think they opened the store here, but for the government program, all I need to do is provide you the design and then the cost of the equipment, how much that it is compared to your funding.
Mm.
Because if you don't have the plan, then these guys submitted their own solution, but in the long run, they can settle. It is what it is when you get the bandwidth that you required. Pacific will support us here. When they signed me on board, they want to assist us here in our issue. So they willing to lower down the cost as long as we have the numbers.
And that, sorry, and that is one of the questions I have, not just for businesses or government and private sector businesses, but I'm looking at for residents. As you mentioned, like what would you be able to match the rates that ITD and Docomo are
That's
advertising
what
right
I'm
now?
working,
Yeah.
and I'm really working hard for it. And it's been in our negotiation for the last couple of months right now that at least the two most lower tier rate plan, if they could, reduce their cost comparable to ITNE and Docomo. So you have the third option, meaning that if ITNE provide you a wireless router and their site is limited only for 1 gigabit and it's shared to the whole community. So that's the issue of the latency and delay of internet signal.
But this is part of the planning phases that you will be opening this up to residents,
Yes.
and it'll be like a package, so they could also get cell phone, broadband at the house, and
Well, for yeah, because anything in if you have internet, you can do your own system design. It be able to make a call through social media platform.
hmm.
So as long as you are in the coverage, so for the community Wi-Fi, I will design this that covers at least a mile or 1 kilometer around, and this is easy. The equipment is there, the access point is there, just the antenna is there. It's just that I don't know the engineers here doesn't
Okay.
I don't know, but easy to cover these things.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
So
Senator.
Senator, go ahead. Get.
Okay, real quick. So just so that I understand, so you're here giving this presentation because you are not seeking for legislative action, but you are sharing information about the services that you are trying to provide the
Yes,
CNMI,
yes.
correct? Okay, and have you by any chance reached out to Mr. Glenn Hunter, our leading
Well,
person for broadband?
I think Chris but anyway, yeah, we did, and we try, and we are being thrown up in the protocol. So meaning, if you follow the protocol of the broadband requirement, then nobody will pass because the requirement is less than 100 millisecond latency. But this program, you can always argue it to the funding provider that we are in cinema, we're not in Las Vegas, and our signal was designed to have a broadband speed. So we'll try to help him, because I know his department is just new, and Peter Chrysler was, I think, hired by Guam. I don't know why he leaves Saipan, but he did not do anything. But just the town hall meeting did not even. I show it to him, and he not even nods about it. Yeah, I said, we have the satellite here. And I even asked, what is that?
Sorry, and I'm just asking because I know that he, like you said, this
Yeah.
thing that he's currently leading
This is
is
for Glen Hunter.
practically new, right? And I know that he's in the planning phases of all this, and so we want to make sure that there are no duplication in efforts and whatever plan
Yeah.
he has in mind for the CNMI, that you know that
Well, the mandate of the governor, I think, is to provide um, a boost signal to the underserved, meaning there's a service, but not really on a broadband speed. So the broadband office is mandated to fulfill those requirements under the governor mandate. So we can help him for the residential apartment. We can provide internet service there, and then so that it will serve those residents um, that resides on those building. And you know, any community that is being normally in Marpi area, uh, the signal there, and some other place, Rota Antinyan has limited number of cell site because of the cost. But they don't realize that FCC subsidize if there is only one bona fide complaint from the customer that they need service. So FCC provide funding to put aside, but they're not doing it because they're satisfied with getting uh, a revenue from the big city. But their mandate is to serve the people. But I don't know, especially now that they're foreign owned, those two companies. So here's the rate plan that Congressman uh, Flores Adan. I mean, here's the example for the rate plan. And I think the Zoom, if you have question for the Kacific itself, they're on the Zoom right now.
So this is the plan. But
Yeah,
what
this is
about
for
the hardware?
the hardware.
And then, so how much is the hardware going to cost the
For the
residential?
1.2 meter is about $900. That's include the antenna, the modem, and the transceiver.
Okay, so here's my thing. So the plan itself, this is not, I understand this is not set in stone, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So let's say the basic plan is $128 a month,
yeah.
right? And then you're talking about the hardware that's going to cost close to $1,000,
Yeah.
right? So here's my question. What prevents, let's say, SpaceX to come in here and they sell their satellite dish for $100? Huh?
Well,
Yeah.
I can easily answer that. For 10,000 subscribers, is Starlink capable of deploying 100 satellites with that cost?
Well, the reason why I say that, because right now, from my understanding with SpaceX, is that they're finalizing their beta testing right now for this region, right? So, and I, from our last conversation, that it would cost anywhere between $80 to $100 a month on their subscription,
The light.
right? Yeah, their subscription, right? And then the equipment itself, it's less than $200.
I,
So I'm
I
not sure
yeah, in the
why.
Philippines they have Starlink.
Mhm.
Yeah, so most of my friends they have Starlink, and it's not cheap. It's
Okay,
not.
so I'm not sure why in Philippines it'll cost that much.
Well, like I said, I am working with Kacific to have the option to have a staggered payment, like getting your iPhone in a monthly for 24 months contract. So it's not really hurt if you pay $20 a month until you paid for like rent to own. So
Right.
those are one of our option. The other one is if my company can subsidize it.
Okay. Because the other thing is, the maintenance and or repair of the system, the hardware. Is it readily available? Do we
Well,
have the technicians and the specialists here to be able to maintain or repair or troubleshoot, the dish if something's wrong?
yeah, we have just 15 minutes. You call me. We'll
Okay.
fix. Yeah, when I
So,
said 15
so we do
minutes.
have the material and all of that.
Yeah.
That
Currently,
is
I have 80 satellite terminals in my stock room,
okay.
ready to deploy.
Okay. So and you do have technical experts here. How many experts do we have on island?
I
Because
train few locals because this is only aim, and there's like apps that you follow. So once you align it and then you get the proper signal, it's good to go. You do. It's not hard.
no, I understand it's not hard. Because my concern is if we're going to pay $1,000 for this piece of equipment, right, and then an additional $100 for a monthly subscription, right, and it's frustrating when like let's say for example we try to call ITNA, why is my internet slow or why is my lagging this or why is this and that,
Because I'm not
you
there
know
anymore.
no
Well,
I-
well, yeah, I understand.
it's frustrating.
Right now their support normally it takes like 5 days
Yeah.
or 3 days is the most, and sometimes it's none.
Mm.
But when I was handling Docomo network operation center, I'm not going home until I address the trouble ticket. I need to go to the customer's house, regardless of that, and ask what's going on, what's the problem. Just resolve that problem right away. That's the way to do. Otherwise, you find another job. That's why their service. Remember, after U2, those cell site was restored. I think more than 5 months, sometimes a year, and that's supposed to be only 1 week to restore.
Do-
But
okay, so I
but
understand
for
all
the
that.
support of Pacific, I'm yeah, that's not a problem because this is easy. The Normally the antenna is installed in your yard or on your rooftop, which is about 4 feet high, sometimes 3 feet high.
Right. So
So
I'm trying to I'm in your website right now and I'm trying to see the contract, a residential contract. You know,
we have a specific contract. It's similar to ITN and Docomo for this kind of devices. If you want, that's why they're hiring. Pacific is hiring sales director for CNMI, and that way he will provide guidelines to the distributor and also to the government and telcos, wherein they negotiate the price and then uh, the contract agreement, the service contract agreement. So basically, there's a template that was also in conjunction with the FCC ruling when it comes to service agreement. So
so you guys don't, the company doesn't have uh, a contract
I
that
have a
is,
contract similar to what I provide to the mayor's office and the finance. So there's like those provision in the contract that
yeah, the terms and
yeah,
condition.
we have that.
So is it on your website?
No,
No?
no. For Pacific,
Yeah, for Kacific, no website?
no, they don't, because Pacific has a distributor in its country.
Mhm.
That's a program that they have.
So do you have that available in PDF,
Yeah, I have it in my office. I can email it to you.
please?
That's not a problem. Yeah.
Thank you.
So currently you can provide the service here in the CNMI
anytime, anywhere.
anytime, anywhere. And so if hypothetically the legislative branch is considering on taking on your service versus IT&E or Docomo, would you be able to provide a cheaper package? Or are you just
For
going
the
to
legislator, yeah, we can provide you the specialized package and rate plan.
and
The
it will
same,
be
but we need to compute how many bandwidth you need, how
right.
much.
So it'll be comparable to what we are currently getting, if not better, right? Because
Yeah.
whenever you're going out there and trying to get sales, you're always trying to compete and provide better service than your
Yeah.
competitors. So I would assume that when you're here doing this presentation, that you are trying to provide us with better service.
So put it this way, the rate plan of Kacific is flexible. So meaning if you're not satisfied with the performance, you can upgrade it in the next month, or you can disconnect it in the end of the month. It's simple as that.
So there's no like long-term
If you
contracts
have
where
like
if
2 years contract, then that's it. But like I said, you can alter the service if you know it requires most.
with penalty
Yeah,
fees,
but yeah.
obviously.
So it depends on your requirements.
Got it.
Yeah. So they have that fall into the flex NBO, meaning you can manage your own bandwidth. It depends on where you're gonna use it.
And technical support would not be an issue.
They have 24 hours support aside from me locally. So
What about
uh,
for the equipment themselves? What if something like was
the
something's wrong with the
only
equipment,
problem I think that we cannot really solve is if there's a natural calamity like super typhoon.
like a natural
Yeah,
disaster?
because I think um, the weather affects that. But it's very negligible. It's but after the disaster, then you can install it right away. So I mean, who's doing the internet when there's a category 5? But anyway, yeah, it's all very flexible. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
it's just that the community right now are not used to it. But in other countries, like in the Philippines, the farmers adopted that because of the Internet of Things, meaning the temperature of their farm. Um, uh, they can provide those sensors, and for example, for CUC, their SCADA, some of their wells doesn't have signal, so they can adapt this. And I don't know. I offered for the last administration, but for example, the Northern Ireland, I provide them the equipment and proposal, but I think it's better to hunt deer. But anyway, we are here, and thank you so much for providing this opportunity to um, present to you the third option. So this is really good because in terms of security in your power plant, for example, and you can install similar to they put in the states when you go to a supermarket like Walmart, Target, Home Depot. They have this mobile like trailer, and it has a blue blinker, and it has a speaker that uh, provide audio to warn your trespassing. So this is really good. Yeah. Yeah. So this was being used by Hawaii, and I talked to the supplier. I said, "Can you give me the website of the Hawaiian island?" So they used this one.
The one thing that I'm really concerned about this, and as the PUTC chairman, it's because I do agree with the technology, and it's coming up pretty fast, and it's getting better every day. You know, um, there's more satellite that keeps going up every year. Especially with SpaceX being involved. and all of that. What benefit is it going to give the community, at large, especially the residential, sectors? Because the reason why I'm saying that is because we need more competitors on island so that the people can have, choices. And one of the things that they look forward to, the number one thing they look forward to, is the cost. The cost and the service.
Well,
Because like everybody else,
yeah,
we want this much service at this much price.
yeah. Like I said, we're trying to negotiate with the Kacific to lower their two tier rates comparable for the residential uh, as a competitive as ITNA and Docomo. Other services, which is special service, I don't mind, because it costs them money also. But for residential who has no option, uh, but a third option that we have, so we can provide them a comparable price with the ITNA and Docomo. And with that, it really benefits them because we can provide faster service, can install it right away, and it's a basic right. Internet is basic human right.
It is.
It
And
is.
that's my whole point, is to make sure that when we do have other players coming in, that they can give the community at large, the opportunity to choose more.
Yeah.
You know, instead of like they only have two and now they gotta like deal with such a high cost with a very subpar service.
Yeah, like I said, basically the object of this, the purpose of Pacific is not to compete really, but to fill the gap. So if you don't fill the gap, who's gonna do it? And I think in Docomo, it takes them a while to lay out the cable. Right now, they don't even follow the code. It's at like 5 inches.
Right.
That's supposed to be 24 inches.
So let's say, for example, that I'm with ITNE right now,
Yeah.
and I get really, really upset with ITNE, because I found out before that what they were doing was charging customers, on future projects. So they're charging customers today for a project that they propose to have in the future. That is absolutely illegal. You cannot be charging people for a project that maybe you're going to have. You know what I mean? So, and I did warn them that if they keep doing that, that's a liability. That's what didn't happen. Class action lawsuit.
What is
Yeah.
it? Is that for customer residential or?
Residential. Because when I was looking at my bill, right, there's a clause inside that, the terms and condition that says that ITNE can charge customers without notice for future projects, right? That is illegal. You cannot do that.
Well,
You're charging me for something that hopefully maybe, so we're funding, the company, on maybe a future projects.
well, right now you have the third choice. So
Well, that's why I'm
yeah,
asking, do you guys have an application terms and condition so I could read something like that to see, make sure that there's nothing, shady about a deal? Because let's say, for example, that right now, like I said, I'm an ITEA customer. I'm very upset with their service. I work hard for my money like everybody else, and I'm paying for subpar, services. So I have $1,000 right now that I can give you. You know, how fast can I get that service and when can I get it up?
when you acquired service from us, I will be there right now if you want.
Okay, and we can get it up right now today. If
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yes, prepare the mounting and things like that. But it's not the next day. It's not next Friday. It's now. It's there. So that's why if you're a new customer, maybe we can request from Pacific to allow a 30 days trial. Something like for the first time, for the public to know that uh, experience the type of service.
Right.
So in that way, you have the way to see if it's good for your to replace
If it's
your
worth,
existing
if it's
yeah,
worth
yeah.
switching.
So
Okay, Mr. Ortizu,
Thank you.
Aldan, sorry to interrupt, but some members have other prior commitments.
I
As you can
understand, yeah,
see, there
I'm
was.
done already anyway.
Oh, okay. So I
Yeah.
just want to say thank you, and
Yeah,
with any
thank you so
further
much.
questions, I think the members can still reach out to you and you
Yeah,
know, go into
anytime,
further
Chris
details.
is here also, and he's part of the company.
How about a teleconference with, Gino and, Mr. Luke?
Well, if they have any question, we can always set up the conference with Kacific. But now they're aware that we're in the legislature, and yeah,
Yeah.
they probably put more support on us here because
Mhm.
I'm the only one right now, and Chris working on this. They're supposed to hire a director of sales here to handle this um, service, but Pacific is here to help, and regardless of the competition, because they can have our services to deploy and expand their services, but they're not taking advantage of it.
All right.
Yeah.
So thank you
Thank
for
you so
your
much.
time, and colleagues, thank you very much.